The governor says businesses will be reopening step by step. What do owners and employees need to be thinking about right now? Brian Burns reports the director of Visit Corpus Christi says communication is the key.
Those are all things that are going to be good practice right now.
Brett Otting is president of Visit Corpus Christi, and he's been trying to help businesses, especially the hospitality industry, get ready to reopen. Otting says regular retail can learn a lot from what the restaurant industry has already road tested.
We've been communicating on a weekly basis with hotels, restaurants, attractions, and really just trying to help them navigate the CARES Act.
Otting says businesses need to communicate now before they reopen to educate employees on the new normal, including social distancing and keeping customers separated inside businesses. While there are no laws requiring employers to provide protective gear to their employees, employment attorney A.B. Augenstein says employers need to step up to keep their workers and customers safe.
Just because the government isn't requiring employers to provide face masks, it doesn't mean they can't. And it doesn't mean that the employees shouldn't use them.
And Otting says this is the time for restaurants and hotels to prepare.
Right now is a great opportunity for restaurants and to really be cleaning and sanitizing and implementing updated cleaning schedules.
Otting says there are weekly conference calls for businesses to discuss the challenges of reopening. For information on how you can join those calls, contact Visit Corpus Christi. Brian Burns, 3 News.